last session what we learned. So we started discussing about events. So some few points I already explained: angular, event, binding. Few points already we discussed what is an event and how event works. Right. So technically, I told you the definition which software design it follows. So event follows a software design pattern called observer pattern. Event comprises of a sender and subscriber, and all JavaScript events are same in Angular. And very important here is event argument. We have dollar event. Dollar event is used for sending event related details and object related details. Object related details are captured by using event target. And few events, I will just give you an overview what generally the events. So we will see some example, 1-2 example how they work actually. So angular usually provides keyboard events, mouse events, everything same. All are JavaScript events only. So I will explain 1-2 events. Others I will give you examples in the classroom, so you can go through them, because all are JavaScript only. No need to discuss every event like on blur, on focus, on click, on double click and all. So let's see one small example here. Suppose keyboard events. What are keyboard events we are having? So generally keyboard events, we have key up, we have key down, we have key press. These are the keyboard events. For keyboard events, regularly what properties we use? The properties we use for keyboard events, that means the properties we use for keyboard events, we use options like key code, char code, which, shift key, control key, alt key. These are regularly used properties for keyboard events. While working with keyboard events, these are the properties that we use, the properties for keyboard events. Key code, character code, which they are used to identify which key user have pressed. Shift key, control key, alt key, they will return true or false when user uses those keys. These are all same JavaScript like only. Just one example I will give you. See, let's take an example. So I will go into this component and let's design one example for events. So here I will clean up all this. Yeah. So a div and container fluid. Yeah. So now technically, when we are dealing with keyboard events, so one design I will create here: register user. So we will create a simple data list, data term, user name and data definition. Input type is equal to text. So here we will keep the class some form control. Okay. The data list class we will keep some width as some 50. Okay. Now we have this form and 420. This is the register user. Now user can enter the username. While typing the username itself, I have to verify whether username is available or not. If username is available, then I should say it's available. If it is already taken, then I should display username is taken. Please try another. This should happen while typing. That means we will not wait until any button is clicked. While typing itself, we have to verify. So first point is how to verify while typing itself. Actually, for that, first we need to define a name for the reference user name, and we will configure as ng model and hash username is equal to ng model. That makes it dynamic. Now when user types, I have to verify. That means here we will write on or say simply verify user. This is the event, and this verify user event should fire up for every character. It should work. That means now we have to write an event, that is key up is an event. Key up verifies every character. For every character, it will fire up the functionality. So on key up, verify user. Okay. Into this verify user, I need to send the username they entered. Then it accepts a parameter any type. E as a parameter any type. Now here we will send that by using dollar event. Through that dollar event, we can send whatever the value they are typing inside it. That value typed inside it, we can send by using that event. Okay. Now I already have some users list. So I will create a public users information. It's an any type array. Any type array. In that we have details like username and like John, that is username. Another username like John12. Another username like John underscore some NIT something, and username like some David like this. These are the users that we have. Later we can get this from database server side technology if we have APIs. How to fetch API, already I showed you a basic thing. Now when user is typing, I have to verify the username typed is available in this users list or not. That means based on that I can display some message. I will declare another string that is MSG user message. It is a string type. Initially it is empty. Now I have to write a condition here. verify user. This verify user will fire up every time when user press a key. Every time when user press a key. So we have to just define an option here. So if for var user of the collection is this dot users, that means we are performing iteration on every user. If user dot username is matching with e dot target dot value, so whatever value entered inside the text box, if it is matching with that, that means every username, whatever user types is it matching. Here there are two techniques I will tell you. If it is matching, then I will display message. This dot user message should display that username taken. So try another. This message should come. And after displaying that message, it should break, stop. Because it is in a for loop, it should not continue, it should terminate. Else, this dot user message should display username available. This message should display. Now here, when user is typing the username, so it should display. Where to display? Below this text box. So this user message must be displayed below the text box. I will put data definition. Here I want to display that user message. User message must be displayed there. That means now here I am typing, so that says username available. For every character, it says username available. For every character, it will verify. And once it is John, it says username taken, try another. Verify. Because we return the event key up. We return the event key up. 1 second. We return the event key. Every character, it will verify. It will verify. So John 1, it is available. And John 1, 2, so it is having a problem. That means it's already taken, right? So technically, this is verifying for every character. So what is the event we have used here? Key up. Key up and key down are used to verify for every character. We cannot use key press in this type of situation. We cannot use for this type of situation. Why? Because I hope you already learned in JavaScript. Suppose I typed John, and if I ask how many keys pressed, here how many keys pressed? 3 keys only pressed. Because that you have learned in JavaScript, right? Because cursor is still in this N key. That means it's not finished. It's not finished. It will be considered as finished only when you come out of it. That means you typed another character, then it is 4. So, or you put a space. Now N is recognized. So key press indicates the actions to perform when user finish the key and uses another key. When user finish a key and uses another key, then the key press will fire up. In this situation, key press is not good. For example, I will show you. Suppose I am changing the event key press. So now you can see that here I am typing username available. That's good. But I entered John. It says available only. But John is already taken. Why it is showing like that? Because N is not completed. How do we know n is completed? You put a space bar, then n is completed, or type any another character. That is key press. That's a very general thing. I hope you all people know in JavaScript key events that what is difference between key up, key down, and key press. That's the reason for this type of situation. If you want to verify immediately after every key, if you want to verify, then key press is not good for that. You have to use key up. But what is problem in key up? Key up cannot get the code of characters. Later, if you have any logic to handle based on character code, that means which character they typed. Is it A, capital A, or lowercase a? Then we have to get the key codes. Key codes you cannot get by using key up or key down. Then if you are dealing with key codes, then you have to go with key press. Key press can identify key codes. Key up, key down cannot identify the key codes. So depending on the requirement, we have to use them. So for this is good. Another point is I want to change. I want to change the colors or effects. For example, if when user is typing here, if username is available, I want to show in green color. If username is taken, I want to show in red color. Then how do we manage that? So you can dynamically apply the classes. You can dynamically apply the classes. So for example, here we can apply the classes for this data definition by using ng class. By using ng class, we can apply the classes. That's your wish. You write colors, effects, your own CSS names, and you can apply them. So for example, if you want the valid invalid options to happen, so see, here we will declare another option. That means two where properties we will declare. Public, so is valid, is user valid. User valid, it is a boolean. We will put it as false. Is user valid? False. So now what happens is, if is user valid false, and here this dot is user valid, is user valid, user valid. So that's we will put as false. One second, some to everyone, is it clear? Online people, is it audible to everyone? Yes, yes, fine. Okay. So Okay, so let's continue. So here in this, now we want to keep this user valid invalid. Is user valid is false. So, and here we have to set this dot is user valid is true. True or false we are defining. Then what we have to do, we have to apply the colors, right? How to apply turn on and off the colors. That means here we will put an object reference. In the object reference, we will put here. So ready-made bootstrap colors are there. Bootstrap classes. We have like text success. Na? It is a bootstrap class. You don't need to write class. If what should happen, it should get the value from is user valid. User valid. So like that, you can create another for invalid, and that you have to put for text danger. Text danger. Later you will learn about validations. Huh? Later there is a concept called validations. Later you have a concept called validations. You will learn about that validations concept. When you learn about validations concept, you will easily handle this without writing much logic. That means we can use simple validation techniques and we can handle them. So that is how we can manage the validations. As of now, suppose if I am typing here John, then it will be in green color. But when it is taken, it is coming into the normal color. So for normal color, what you can do is you can define the option. So you can configure the option. So here we will put an ordinary class. What is it? Text, suppose danger. Text danger. That means usually when user starts typing, it will be looking like this. If you put an ordinary class, it will put the same class every time. So through this ng class, you can change. For available one option, so invalid another option, you can control that valid and invalid. I just given you only one option. Similarly, you have to handle the other logics also. So what are the other logics? Same, you have to define use invalid. That means here we have to define public is user invalid. Invalid also Boolean, and by default it is also false. Then if it is here, this dot is user invalid will be true. And here we will define this dot is user invalid will be false. Like this we can define. And we will apply one more color here. So that means we will define comma, text danger is a color. So this will get the value from is user invalid, so that it will change according to the situation. I am entering the details. It shows a green color, then it turns into red. Dynamically, we have to apply the classes. Another important is after entering the username, once I finish typing inside it, I don't want this message to display. Then you know that actually for that in JavaScript, what event we use? We use an blur event, right? In JavaScript, we use a blur event. Same here, blur. Blur indicates what should happen when user starts uh, loses the focus from the control. Loses the focus from the control. On blur, we will write here. So here we will define on user blur. On user blur, nothing but this dot user msg must be empty. We will just remove it. Means keep it empty. We don't want to display message. So here on user blur. On user blur, the message will not be displayed anymore. That means while typing, it is showing username taken, username available. Once it is finished, then it will hide. These are all combinations of events. These are all what kind of events? Keyboard events. In keyboard events, key up indicates actions to perform on key release. So actions to perform on key down, and actions to perform on key finish, and key in another. Key in is nothing but actually use another key. That means generally while working with keyboard, we don't use the word typing, right? The word we use as keying in means typing, while using the keys. Once you finish a key and key in another key, then automatically key press will be verified. So we have key up, key down, and key press. So these are the codes. These are the properties. This is one example for that. I will give this example. Means just .ts file. You give any component name. The TS file logic is this. That is the logic in TS file. .html file logic is this. This is the HTML file logic. Here we are just using two events. One is key up, another one is blur like events. Similarly, generally when you are using keys, another concept is we have to work with, while working with the keys, we have to work with keyboard key codes. So that means, for example, here we are adding one more data term, and here I will say password and data definition. So input type is equal to password. Now when user is typing password, class form control. When user is typing password, I have to warn user if he is entering any capital letters. If user is entering any capital letters, we have to show some warning saying that caps is on the warning. So how do we do that? So now I have to define the name. Name is user password, and here ng model hash user password is equal to ng model. Okay. While typing here, I have to get the key code. That means, is it capital letter or small letter? Generally key codes. So we have key codes. These key codes are nothing but this key code will return 65 for uppercase letter A, and 90, 65 to 90, that is uppercase Z. That means if it is a capital letter, then it will be between 65 to 90. So that means how you can identify whether it is a capital, because capital letter they can type anyway. They can use a caps lock, they can use a shift key, they can use alt keys also for capital letters. In that case, we need to identify whether the password they are entering, the key is between 65 to 90 or not. Here we will put another data definition and a class as text warning, and here we will put a span class bi, and bi, so we have exclamation, some diamond or exclamation square, exclamation triangle I will use, exclamation triangle, and I will put here warning, warning, and caps on, caps on. That is the message I want to display. Actually, by default, that message is coming warning caps on. It is showing that message warning caps on. But I want this to display only when the capital letter is typed inside this text box. So then what we have to do is, this time we have to verify password and we need to display. That means we need to show or hide this password warning. So I will declare another property. I will declare another property here. So public. So caps warning. Caps warning. This is a boolean. Caps warning is a boolean. We will put it to false. We will put it to false. Caps warning is boolean. We will put it to false. We will apply this. We will apply this to this data definition by using ng if. Ng if we have to get caps warning. Caps warning. So it is boolean false. It is not displaying. You know that ng if will add only if it is true. So now while typing the password, so then we will write another method. We will configure another method. So we are defining another method. So the method is here we are defining. So verify. So, or we will say verify caps. Verify caps is another one. On verify caps, here what we are doing is, on verify caps, here I am configuring on verify caps, we will collect the value, what password they have entered. It is any type. So this verify caps will fire up. So here, now you cannot use key up. You cannot use key up. Why? Because key up, key down cannot get the character codes. Then this time we have to use key press. On key press, we have access verify caps. Into that we will pass dollar event. Into that we will pass the dollar event. Now you can see that it is accessing it and using. Now here we will write the logic. So if e dot, we have to get the code, character code. That means we have to use key code. If e dot key code, because key code is not a property of text box. It is a property of event. Event related properties directly you can access. Object related properties you have to access by using target. Key code is not object related property. It is event related property. We have to define by using key code. If e dot key code is greater than or equal to 65 and e dot key code is less than or equal to 90, that means it is capital letter. If it is capital letter, then we have to access this dot caps warning, we have to set it to true. Otherwise, this dot caps warning, we have to set it to false, true or false. Now, what happens here? I'm typing the password. I'm typing some password. That's fine. Password, fine. Suddenly, I entered a capital letter, then it should show that warning. If not, then it is normal. You see the password. This is normal. And suddenly, anywhere a capital letter is entered, it shows caps on. And if I'm not typing that, now it is fine. It is fine. Suddenly, anywhere capital letter comes, it says caps on. I remove that and type normal will be there. So this is very important so that you cannot use key up and key down here, because key up and key down cannot get the codes. So then we have to use key press event. Here you have used the key press event. So if you are dealing with key codes, which key they have pressed. So is it shift key, control key, alt key? Is it capital letter or not? To do that, you have to use key press. And that is important point here. So let me give a simple final note here that if you are configuring any functionality, if you are configuring any functionality related to key codes, then it must be defined using key press. It must be defined using key press. So when you are dealing with key codes, these are the options. These are key events, how you manage and how do we configure. So keyboard related events and functionalities in Angular, everything same. See, whatever I showed you is not new to anybody who knows JavaScript. These are all simple JavaScript only. That is nothing new here. So just example we are defining. I will copy this example. In this, both options are there. This is an example. So this is .ts file and .html file. So in this, we have both options. Next, important, after understanding the keyboard events. So Angular can use the mouse events. So all JavaScript mouse events are same like here Angular events. So what are the mouse events? We have mouse over, mouse out, mouse down, mouse up, and mouse move. These are all mouse events. And obviously, you know what they will do on mouse over, mouse out, mouse down. That means when mouse pointer is over any element, mouse pointer comes out of any element. When you hold down the mouse button, when you release the mouse button, you can define some actions. Mouse move already I showed you in previous example, style binding. While moving the mouse, the pointer moves. That example already we learned. We done that. So the properties regularly we use for mouse are, we use like client X, we use like client Y, which are to get the position of mouse, X axis and Y axis. So mouse events are used to control the actions when mouse over, out, and all. For example, anywhere you want to control some animations, you want to control some effects before user clicks, when user moves the mouse onto it, immediately it should have some effect. Such things we can manage by using these options. For example, suppose we are having a simple example is, suppose let's clean up this one. Yeah. And here some mouse event, and I don't need all this logic now, so just so the basic things, clean up all this. Yeah. Now what we are doing here is, we are having a container, we are having a marquee. This marquee contains some images. So image source, it is some assets slash. Already we have some images in our assets folder, we can use them. In assets I have like some shoe dot jpg, some width is 100, height is 100, like this. I have another image, so some images are there, shoe one, and speaker, and some images are present here, mobile, like this. Now all we kept inside a marquee. So usually then here you can see the content on the page, the marquee is scrolling, the marquee is scrolling. Now on mouse over, I want to pause that marquee, I want to stop that marquee. On mouse over, I want to stop that. Such interactions are very common. These are not related to any click, or these are not related to any keyboard events. So on mouse pointer over, it should stop. Then usually for this we have to write the events. So we are expecting two events on, or say simply stop animation, stop scrolling. This is one method. So I will write the mouse events, that is mouse.
Recording in
Stop
progress.
scrolling method will fire up. Into that we will pass dollar event. And another event on, this is mouse out. Mouse out means when mouse pointer is outside, then we will put start scrolling. This is the function, and here also dollar event. Now what we have to do here is stop scrolling. This event currently we are writing for marquee. So this dot, not this, simply e dot target, target, that is mark marquee related properties. In marquee related properties, there is a method called stop. Stop. That means this stop is a method of marquee element. We can access that method and stop the animation of marquee. Marquee is having some animation, we can stop it. And again, it should start e dot target, target dot start, start. Remember, these are not my own methods. Stop, start, these are reserved words. You have to write exactly in the same way. Now here the point is, when mouse over, it will pause. Set the point is, when mouse mark, then it will again resume. That means on mouse over, it will pause. On mouse out, again it will resume. So we want to control interactions based on mouse over, mouse out. Later, you will learn about CSS animations. That means you can dynamically control animations in Angular. Angular have a concept called animations. Through that we can apply like zoom, through that we can apply like rotate, we can add some CSS animations that we will discuss under separate concept called Angular animations. We have a separate topic called Angular animations. There we will learn how CSS animations are applied to control like rotating, zooming, such things we can manage. Currently, for that, we need these events regularly. Currently, this is just to indicate how the actions are performed on mouse over, how the actions are performed on mouse out, how the actions are performed on mouse down and up. Down and up is nothing but, for example, suppose, so we have some images. Okay, we have some TV. Suppose we kept here a simple div, and in that we will keep some image or something, a simple box like this. And in this box, I am creating so offer. So offer. So I am defining here some 50% off, something like this I defined. And our intention is nothing but this is some offer 50% off, like this we define. Now, usually what we want to do is, suppose we want to control some interaction for that. So suppose this is some offer related box, some offer related box. I will save this in our Angular project, in our Angular workspace. In that projects, shopping, SRC, assets. So I will put offer. It's a PNG file. Now what should happen is, I'm displaying that image source is assets offer.png. Okay, and that looks in this way. I will keep some width and height, width 200 and height 200. Now what should happen is, when user hold down the mouse button on it, I want to show some offer on which content behind it, something like that. That means we have to put a message, we will put a paragraph saying that press hold down mouse button, press hold down mouse button. So then until user hold down the mouse button, then that offer should display. Otherwise, this box should display. That means what we have to just do is, actually, suppose we have now another photo. We are opening some photo. That means some speaker or some mobile. So I will open this speaker. Okay, copy. And so you can put here another new. Here we will put a box. We will put a box with the same height and width previously that we designed. And here I will keep that image, and I will put some text here. So that means the text is suppose 2000, something like this. So 2000. So that is the offer like this. Previously, it is suppose some 6000. So 6000. That is the previous. Now here I am just using some option strikeout like and display like this. And what we want to do is we want to show this. So I will keep this with some other color and put them here. I want to display that message there. That means I want to show that message there. Just roughly some message we want to display. I will save this. So save this as offer some speaker, or say speaker offer. Okay, speaker offer PNG file. Now what should happen is when user hold down the button on this image, we should change the image. That means this SRC of image should change dynamically. It should change dynamically. So we will write events. That means one event is offer box. Offer box. This is like show offer box. Show offer box. I am writing show offer box. And another option is hide offer box. Show offer box, hide offer box. Two options are there. Now here we are keeping an image source, means I am declaring a property. So public offer image. Offer image is a string type and it is assets slash offer.png. Offer.png is the default image. That means actually currently image we will remove from here. That means image is currently empty. You can see there is no image there. And we will get it dynamically. SRC is equal to, what is it? Offer image. That means this is offer image dynamically we are applying. That means it is accessing that and showing. Now what we have to do is, so offer box, show offer box, hide offer box. When user displays this dot offer image is equal to, it should be assets slash offer.png. Hide offer box, this dot offer image is equal to assets dot speaker offer dot png. There is another image just now we created. So what is that image? Speaker offer. In assets we have speaker offer dot png. Now when to display these two? So we have to write on the image itself. We have to write mouse down. Mouse down, we will keep here hide offer box. Hide offer box. Mouse up. So we will put here show offer box. Show offer box. That's how we write the option. That means when I hold down the mouse button, it will show that offer. Until I hold down the button. Once I release the button, again it will be normal. That means this will be displayed until I hold down the key, not mouse over. So when you hold down the mouse button, it will display. When I release the button, it will hide. It will hide. On mouse down and on mouse up, on mouse over and on mouse out. That is for mark you. For mark you, we have mouse over and mouse out. And for this, we have mouse down and mouse up. Depending on various interactions, we need this. So mouse events also used regularly. We use mouse events also regularly. Yesterday's example I showed you client X and client Y, where we designed a flag. That flag is following the mouse pointer by using style binding we done. There, which event we have used a mouse move. Based on the position of mouse, we can define the actions. So there you need client X and client Y. As of now, this is another example. .ts file, this is containing the options related to mouse. .html file, this is the logic, this is the design we created for that. These are all mouse related events, how we can handle and define the mouse events. Now, another regularly in single page applications, mobile based environment, we regularly see like Angular clipboard events. Clipboard events will be there. Angular clipboard events will be there. Clipboard events will be there. Clipboard events are nothing but, so like we have a cut, copy, paste. These comes under the clipboard events. These days, designing interactions on these is very regular, very important also, because when people are using mobile like devices, touch screen like devices, one of the problem people facing here is, you selected so some mobile number, we have to copy the mobile number, and we copied, but due to some technical reason, we haven't properly selected it, and we thought that it is copied, and we went to the target location and try paste, it's not working. This problem is very regular on your mobiles touch screens, because on mobile touch screen, you hold down a long key, selects, then copied or not confirmed until or unless it shows a message saying that yes, copied, right? So, and you go somewhere else and paste, it is not pasting because we are not sure. So such interactions are very much important. That's we can manage with cut, copy, paste. So that means these are related to keyboard events, means clipboard events. Clipboard is nothing but the temporary memory of Windows, your operating system. That means if you cut, what will happen? If you cut, what will happen? The selected information will be removed. After removing, where it's gone, where it is present? Technical answer is it is present on clipboard. Clipboard is the temporary memory of Windows. That means if you cut, if you copy, everything will be on clipboard, on cut and copy. When you paste, what will happen? When you paste, what will happen? Anything present in clipboard will paste. Actually, earlier in Windows, we can see clipboard actually. You see, in Windows, there is a clipboard settings. These are clipboard settings actually. So that means in Windows, you will see clipboard settings. You have clipboard history. We have clipboard history, and we have an option, clear clipboard data. That means you copied something, you copied something, after that you pasted, and you left that computer, somebody comes, means you haven't shut down, you left that turned on. Somebody comes and uses paste option, he can paste what you copied previously. He can paste what you copied previously. Because previously, whatever you copied, it will be there until or unless you turn off your machine. But do you know without turn off the machine how to clean clipboard? This is how we do. That means we come to the clipboard settings and there we clear. There we clear. That means usually what happens is, suppose I copied all this, and I come to notepad and or I will copy simple thing. This word I am copying. I will copy that word and I paste it. It is pasting. Again paste. It is pasting. Now, like that, how many times it will paste until it is present in clipboard? And I go to clipboard settings and click clear. Clipboard settings, we say clear. And here I paste again. It's not pasting. That means I say paste not working. So that's how generally we do. That means this is a common concept actually. So the point is when you cut, when you copy, everything will be on clipboard. You can clean the clipboard, right? Because some private data you copy and paste somewhere in email, you composed it, copied and pasted it. If you don't shut down and you have to give your machine, then that clipboard data is still available. Whenever anybody pastes, it will paste. We need to clean that way. So what happens on paste? It will insert everything from the clipboard. So technically, there are so many other points also. You can copy if you synchronize your devices. I hope you people don't know. On your laptop, suppose you are using a Microsoft account. The same Microsoft account you are using on your mobile, Windows phones and all. What you copied in your laptop, you can access in your mobiles. So clipboard is accessible, synchronizing across devices also. So so many facilities are there. Usually now the point is we need to show notification whether copied or not. Such things are very important. Suppose here we have an option here. So a heading. So say your OTP. And what happened is, so we put div, and here we define some OTP. And we are saying that, so this is your one-time password, right? One-time password. Some message I am giving. And we put a text box below it. So input type is equal to text and placeholder is your OTP. And like this, we just define, and the size is equal to some 6 or 5. Like this, we are defining. That's the content. Now, what we have to do is we have to select this and copy. So if you are doing on your mobile, then what you do? Select it, then automatically a pop-up will come. In that you can choose copy, or you can put some shortcut keys here. But the confusion is it copied or not? Is it copied or not? So what we do is this message I will keep in a span. This message I am keeping in a span. Okay, what I am doing here is, see, I will go to the design. We will write some events. That means, so here we are configuring some methods. So here we will put a message. So public MSG, it is a string type and initially empty. Now what should happen? We have to write some events. Events are like on cut, on copy, on copy. Okay. On copy, what should happen? this dot message should say that OTP copied. This message should come. That's message we have to define. Just on paste, I am writing, and this dot. So MSG, it is OTP, OTP pasted, OTP inserted. So that is the message I want to show. These we have to handle on various options. For example, on this div, we are writing an event called copy. And here we will define on copy. On copy is the event that fires up. And where to display that message, here I am displaying that message here. Somewhere I want to display the message. So below it, above it, anywhere. So I will put a div, and here we will put a message that is MSG. And here what we will do is, here we will put option called paste. Paste we will say on paste. On paste. Like this we are writing the methods. That means now what happens is, you see copy and paste like options. Here they are not possible in div because div is not allowed to copy actually. That's not interaction. We will put one text area. Suppose text area. Okay. I'm adding a text area. Then in text area, you don't use any spans. Directly message will come. I'm using a text area. So in the text area, like message box like will come. That means the text area is displayed. Where is spelling wrong? On is small letter, right? Yeah. On copy, and another one is on paste. Okay. Text area I'm giving, it looks like this now. Now what we have done is, we selected this, and we right click on this and say copy. Then it says OTP copied. That message will come. You can right click on this and you say paste. Then it says OTP inserted. Usually these kind of messages are important. Suppose you can use your keyboard. So select that part, Control C, it says copied. And you put here Control V, that is pasted. Means we want such status messages to happen. Why? Because if there are no status messages, then user is confused about the interactions. We need to know whether it is copied or not, it is pasted or not. These are defined by using key events, clipboard events. The example, just the TS file contains this, and the HTML file contains this. This is just a simple example to handle how copy and paste like options are used. Cut, copy, paste, any kind of interactions we can do that. So these are clipboard events. So all other events are similar. Now on blur, on focus, on double click, on change. So we used in shopping cart example on change. All these events are similar. I will upload one document which contains examples on all these events along with what we learned in class. You practice them, you can do it because same JavaScript events. What's new here is, you have to know about the events. New is about Angular form event is very important, and you have to know about Angular touch events. Touch event is important, very major, and this is the biggest concept in interviews, is Angular custom events. We can create our own events. Just like on blur, we can design our own events. This is where for experienced people, lot of questions are asked. At Angular experience level interviews, you will get questions related to custom events. The custom events. General events, nobody will ask because every JavaScript learner knows them. You will not get any question on today's concept what we learned, right? That is silly thing because these are all general JavaScript things. You will get questions on custom events, 100% mandatory. Every Angular interview will have a question on custom events. You need to be very perfect in understanding how to write our own events. Here the point is, first we need to know why we need our own events, then how do we define those events and work with them. We have to know that. We'll see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that, right? Don't miss tomorrow's class, because the custom events topic we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session, which is mandatory for every Angular interview. You will get question on that topic. That's the reason detail we need to understand. Tomorrow we will see.